Hi guys, I've been asked to do a little video explaining how it is that we plan implants here at Arnold Dental. So we've taken the 3D scanner of someone's jaw, which creates a DICOM file, and you can see that I'm cleaning up the image here. When you take a 3D scan of the jaw, it creates scatter. It's really good at picking up bone, but where you've got metal or it's heavily restored dentition, you're going to get this kind of scatter, and that can kind of get in the way when it comes to importing an STL file, which we'll be doing shortly. So I'm just working my way around here, trying to clean up as much as I can. You can see what I'm doing there is I'm changing the density of the bone that we can see. So I've taken it down a little bit so you can see the root morphology. And again, just helps me clear up the scatter and giving us a nicer image to work with. So again, we're just moving around, looking at the different angles and different directions, trying to get it as clean as possible. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got here now. I'm happy with this curve we've drawn. So in the center of the screen, you can see that yellow line, which gives us an image in the lower right-hand side, almost like an OPG, laying out the dentition flat. The scan was really good to show us there was an area that needed a bit of help on the top left-hand side, which we've kind of addressed now. So you can see here, we've got the STL file on the left-hand side, and I'm marking dots. I'm kind of matching things up now, so that the software knows what points to match up with what, and hopefully it will stitch this together. So it's kind of stitching it together. It's tricky to see at the moment because the software has got the STL file in the same color as the DICOM file. So I'm going to change the color. So now you can see the image that we've gathered from the intraoral scanner with a camera is in yellow, and the image that we've got from the 3D CBCT machine is in grey, and we've merged that together now. You can see there's an area on that 3 which has been addressed, but it's great. We wouldn't have seen that without the CBCT machine, so it's great that we got that information. We're only doing one implant here in this 4 space, so what I've done is I've imported a tooth, and I'm just now manipulating it so that we kind of create an idea of what we want the finished result to look like. This doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer we get this to a final result, it just makes the implant placement that little bit easier, and it makes the lab's job easier as well, so they're not having to correct angles or misplacements of implants. So yeah, I'm just tweaking this because it's good practice. It makes you appreciate what the lab has to do when it comes to restoring the implants. And it's great. We're just moving around different angles and checking that out. Again, you can see that area which just shows up so clearly on the scan. Again, I'm pointing at the area again, so you're aware of it. So on that. So yeah, back to the left-hand side. Now I've picked the point where I want the implant to place. So in the top left-hand side of the screen, I'm making measurements now to see how much bone we've got to work with and what size implant's going to be appropriate. So we've got just under 9 millimeters. I think I can sneak a 10 millimeter implant in there. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm importing that implant. It's a Dentium implant, and that's in the catalog within Blue Sky Bio. So in the top left-hand side, that implant looks pretty good. I'm happy with the angle and the direction. But when you look at it from the top right-hand side, it's just skewed whiffed off. What I've just done is I've added an abutment so that I can see that we're going to go through the center of the crown. So that lower left-hand side, I've zoomed in to see where the access point will be. And I'm happier with that. So again, I'm changing the densities to see where the root morphology is. Is the implant heading towards the root or not? Are we in the center of the space? This top right-hand box is great because I'm going to pivot on that implant. So we're going to pivot around. In the center of the screen, you can see that green line rotating. And that's showing me in different angles that, are we in the right spot? Is it a good place to put the implant? And it looks pretty good to me. So once I'm happy with that, I've removed the tooth, because the next thing is I've placed a tube guide, that gold coloured ring that's going to fit around, and that's going to create our drill guide, or the opening of the drill guide. So I'm just adjusting the lengths so that it is compatible with the tube sleeve that we use and the printer settings in our 3D printer. It all kind of relates, and that's stuff that we figured out over time. Just moving the tube guide away from that yellow line on the top left where you can see. So that means we can seat the drill guide before raising the flap. Cool, so now that I'm happy, what we're doing now is drawing a little curve of where I want this drill guide to sit and fit. And we just added these dots. I like the drill guide to sit mostly on the teeth, so that I can see it's fully seated. Plus, you can get a little bit arrogant around the drill guide and you can see what's happening. If it's sitting all over the tissues, it's going to block your view and kind of get in the way. So once I'm happy with that, we can generate a drill guide. It's good. So I'm not happy with the color, so we go for Arnold Blue, hey? The other thing I like to do is I'm going to add a window now. And what this will allow me to do is to make sure the drill guide is seated. Sometimes if all the teeth are blocked, you're not able to fully see if the drill guide is down during the placement of the implant. So I'm just manipulating this little window, which is going to create a little box within the drill guide. I'm just extending it. You don't want to make it so big that you're going to weaken the drill guide and cause it to be loose. But then you want it so small that you're not able to see, defeats the process. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to generate a new drill guide. Cool. Again, I'll probably change the color of this, which I do. Perfect. So you can see how this drill guide that I'm happier with fits on top of that STL file. And I'm pretty happy with that. And that's going to give us the initial pilot hole, which is going to guide the implant through, get us in the right direction. I'm just going back now, just checking all the stages. Do I want to change anything? Is there anything I'm questioning? But otherwise, that drill guide is good to go. Well, guys, if you've enjoyed this and found it useful, let us know. If you want more videos, then happy to help.